Welcome back to the Stoop football fans. It's your boy Lolo here on another Friday night with y'all, coming to y'all live from the basement in Brooklyn. Cheers to y'all. Happy Friday. It's time to crack one open. And Director John is here. Yeah.
Cheers. I don't know how long I'm staying,
Cheers.
but
All right. Well, we're glad to have you for any length of time, John. It's always nice to have you on here. Just let me know when you leave so I start trying to do your job as well. It is Premier League break right now, but we do have a ton of big news to talk about today. It's been on the lips of any football fan out there today. The biggest news going on is the Champions League draw, and that has proven to just be a well of talking points for people today. And I want to go ahead and take a look at that. But first, let me say hi to everybody who's been in the chats already. Anders, of course, Pincushion as well in there. I seem to have erased a bunch of comments on there. I'm sorry about that. But let's take a look up here at the Champions League quarterfinal draw. And we have, let me get that out of my face. All right, so we have Arsenal versus Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid versus Dortmund, Real Madrid versus Manchester City, and PSG versus Barcelona. We will get into breaking down each and every one of these matches with all of my guests today, and we have actually have a special guest on here because the guests we have on the show all the time are not special enough. So we had to go out and fish for some new fish. But we're going to get into this. My quick thoughts on all of these. Listen, PSG and Barcelona, quick thoughts on these. Neither team is where they believe they should be, yet they are in the Champions League quarterfinal draw. Have I been saying semi-final this whole time? Maybe. Quarterfinal. PSG and Barcelona in the quarterfinal draw. They aren't where they really want to be stylistically. Barcelona in the league, they're not where they want to be. It's Kylian Mbappe's last season at PSG probably. So this is going to be an interesting one, fighting for their lives. And the Mbappe to Real Madrid narrative is going to be spoken about a lot here, where Kylian Mbappe can get a kickoff to his Real Madrid career by knocking out Barcelona. It's something huge in this one, but two of the weaker teams in my mind in this competition. The other two of the weaker side of the table, as I would call it, is Atletico Madrid and Dortmund. I actually think that's a really good matchup. But this also comes down to who is going to be in the Champions League next year. Both of these teams sitting, I believe, in fourth place in their domestic leagues, may not make it into the Champions League at that rate. So they have to win the Champions League to continue on playing in the Champions League next year, possibly. So you're going to see a lot of fight in these dogs. And I think my dark horse for this entire tournament is Atletico Madrid, because yes, they are Simeone ball, but they have some sneaky attacks in there with your Griezmann and Morata and all that. So it's not your traditional Atletico Madrid side. Then we have Arsenal versus Bayern Munich. There's history there. The last team to knock Arsenal out of the Champions League in the quarterfinals, I believe, was Bayern Munich. They beat us by like 10-2 or something like that, something ridiculous. So there's a lot of that mythos in the air right now. But to me, that's all just fans. That's all for the fans. That's all for the banter, because the players on the pitch don't know anything from that. The only banter that will be had on the pitch is with Harry Kane, and seeing if Arsenal can be part of stopping Harry Kane from going to the behemoth that is Bayern Munich and stopping them from winning any trophies. So I know Arsenal would like to do that. And Shaka's helping us out in the league. So, yeah, a bunch of Gunners making it hard for Harry Kane. And then we got Real Madrid, Manchester City, probably the two favorites to win the tournament. And they're going head to head in the quarterfinals. This one is going to be awesome to watch. The last time they played was awesome, with a draw and then a blowout by Man City. So either way, this could go either way. It ends in Manchester just like it did the last time. So It's gonna be very, very tough. Yes, Mr. Tom, I couldn't get those memes uploaded in time, but yeah, he said
Take a breath, Lolo. Take a breath.
I can't. Mark told me to keep these under 5 minutes, and I couldn't do it because I'm stumbling too much trying to get through this. So speaking of the devil, let's go ahead and bring him in so I can take a breath and have a sip of my lovely whatever the hell I'm drinking. Done. That's
for
it. I'm leaving.
however long we've been doing this show, when do you listen to me? When do I have something to say that's worthwhile?
No, I'm just realizing that more and more when we do this show, like the better shows we have with more people and more opinions and all that, by the end of it, I'm like, I never even said what I thought about this one thing, because I just get defending Arsenal or something and I fall off any
Right.
point that I had. And I do want to hit on all of those points that I briefly mentioned because they're interesting talking points. All of these
Absolutely.
games have life.
Absolutely. And the draw has I think
Rangers.
I'm not going to say that there's any sort of like, that the draw is kind of theatrics only, because I'm sure there is some randomness to it, but all of these matches have, like, it has its storyline, it has its drama, which is kind of incredible in its own part. For instance, Atletico and Dortmund. These are two teams that weren't, especially Dortmund, but they in the so-called group of death weren't expected to emerge.
Yeah,
and
Atletico
was not
with
expected to. They weren't expected to beat Inter. So you have two of these kind of like dark horse clubs that are going to be going at one another. The draw did, if Arsenal is able to get past Harry Kane and Bayern, they did you a favor by matching up Real Madrid and City, the last two semi-finalists.
That's like, excuse me, and I know it's early in the show to say this, but that's like doing a favor by lubing up a 40-inch dong, like because if we win, what do we get for winning?
You think about this, one of those two teams
too early
is going to be eliminated.
I am drinking
if you guys advance. Oh God, for a second there, I thought you were drinking like 12-year-old Four Loko. Lolo on the Loco.
4.5 by this point. What is with my hey? Yeah,
I have no idea.
Too many lights on. Yeah, but Mark, this gets back to what I was talking about a couple weeks ago, and I've been thinking about it a lot because a lot of Arsenal fans, as soon as they saw Bayern, they're like, "Yes, we can exercise some demons. Our team can get back for 14 years ago." And I'm going, Saka was 5, so, but this gets back to what I was saying. There are things that motivate the fans and there are things that motivate the players. We got to remember all these players are 20
absolutely correct.
20-year-olds. They don't have that history and they weren't born Arsenal fans like a lot of the fan base. So what hypes them up? That history is not going to hype them up. What's going to hype those players up is playing in the Champions League quarterfinal against Bayern fucking Munich and being listed in the same breath as these other 7 teams.
Right. Yeah.
Who are at the apex of football.
I was thinking about the same thing earlier on today, that that for a young team like Arsenal and for, with the exception of Mueller on Bayern Munich, it's all ancient history. It's all something that you only read about, and maybe in the library of your stadium. Can you see those matches? But I think if anything, which you would hope for Arsenal, is that they finally have kind of with moving on from Porto, and it wasn't by any means pretty. It was not pretty.
Yeah, the goal.
Sure.
But I agree with you on the rest.
In true Arsenal form, And at home, you guys shouldn't have gone to shootout. It just shouldn't have happened, in my opinion. Now, I'm sure other people would argue the same thing, but what I would want Arsenal to walk away from that is to not be like, oh, we're playing Munich and oh, they're a tough squad, and oh, we got the old rival Harry Kane there. Just instead take a look at it advancing against Porto and go, you know what, guys, we belong. We belong here, so let's go take care of business rather than who you're playing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you saw all of the post matches after the Porto match, every single pundit asked the Arsenal players, who do you want to play? Who do you hope you get? And they all had the same answer, which was anybody. Just let us know, because that's what I'm saying. For us fans, we are putting all this other nonsense on there. For them, they're going, just let me know who. My manager is a crazy man, and he is going to figure out what we need to do, and we are all ready. We are all ready to do this, no matter who it is. And I think what was so boring about Porto was Mikel Arteta adjusting and saying, we just can't come out and play the same way we've been playing Premier League teams, because they don't play that way. At least even the teams that sit back the most in the Premier League still play a faster paced physical game, and Porto doesn't. And if I'm not just calling Porto like a little bitch club that sits back, they just put up 5 on Benfica the other day, and Benfica is a decent team. Like, Porto plays football. They just play in a different way. And their entire goal was to take Martin Odegaard out of the game. They said that afterwards, and they kept us contained, and they kept him from being the playmaker. And he got loose once. He got loose 2 times. One ended up being offside or a foul. No, I think an offside anyway. And the other one was it was him just doing something absolutely mind-blowingly incredible. Otherwise, and it still took a nutmeg of Pepe, who was doing his job. Like, it still took a great finish.
Right.
So I think it's that adjustment. If you saw us play a team that wants to come at us, it's not gonna all be boring Arsenal football in the Champions League.
No, and I completely agree. And I also think that, in regards to that setup, with Porto, that I don't know about you, I expected Porto to sit back. I did not expect to see a press that Porto was offering, and I think it caught Arsenal a bit off guard. I expected Porto to just sit back, park the bus, and count down 90 minutes.
But that's what I'm saying. That's not really them. We have that in our head, because it seems like slow, park the fucking bus compared to the fast pace of the Premier League, when they actually look for counterattacks and stuff, but their whole thing, and then they dive on, they fall every 2 seconds. I swear to God, I was expecting 4 ambulances at halftime. The amount that these guys were on the ground, it was like, but that's their goal, is to stop.
I think it was both. I think both teams were spending a little time trying to catch their breath, because they were exhausted. And I don't know if you noticed. I'm sure you did, because you watch the sport. But when you're seeing, like, toward the end of the 90, Declan Rice with hands on his knees trying to get he was exhausted. By the end of the 120 some odd minutes, 120 or so minutes. There were a lot of players that were exhausted. So it was definitely that match definitely had a lot of pace to it.
Well, Mark, let me we've got a good number of guests on today, so I do want to bring some people on, and we have some people that we don't have every week. But wait. I want you to take this opportunity to give me anything your initial thoughts on this Champions League draw, on the teams that are in it, on who you think's going to win, on who you think doesn't deserve to be there. Something. What is one takeaway from all of this? What I call doom scrolling earlier today of the just being bombarded with Champions League stuff. What is it that? What is your thought before we all interrupt
my
you?
initial reaction to seeing the draw, and again, I'm a little skeptical on how random it might be, but just every single match is going to be a barn burner. Every match is going to be very, very fun to watch. Every match is going to be extremely compelling. I don't say that anyone shouldn't be there. I mean, the biggest surprise is is Atletico beating Inter Milan. Last year's runner up. But to say someone doesn't belong there, I wouldn't do that. Everyone belongs there. Y'all fought long and hard, and you got there, and things happen, and Bob's your uncle.
Yep. All right. Well, there you have it. So that was Mark and I's opening quarter of an hour of the match. So it's about time we bring some other substitutes on, not substitutes, additional players onto the pitch. We'll have 11 on here by the end of the night, I'm sure. So, Mark, what do you think? Individually, or we bring them all on?
Who do we got? Who do we got here? Boy,
well,
oh boy,
John's
there
making
we
decisions.
go.
John's
He's
like, there's a
making
Rangers game coming on.
It
They're all
got
getting on.
confusing there for a second.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, everybody? We have Gary over here. We've got Chris, and we've got Mr. Tom. Gary, of course, is our Arsenal fan from Don't Waste the Trip. The Trip, sorry, is the show. We have Dirty Chris from Dirty Diaper Jersey.
Dirty Diaper
is what it is now. Chris, we haven't seen you in a while because the new baby's in the house. How's everything going?
They're good. They finally go to sleep at this time now. So let's hope I can join a bunch more of these. I can't speak because I haven't talked to anyone.
You haven't spoken to an adult in a while.
An adult. Just goo and ga all day.
Awesome. Mr. Tom, how are you today?
Greetings. Oh, I'm not bad.
Yeah, you look good. Happy. Leeds still in second place?
He looks very clean.
Could be first after Sunday.
You can freaking catch them already? They lost last week? Leicester lost last week?
They drew last week.
Oh, they drew.
Ipswich lost last week.
Holy crap.
Ipswich were winning until the 95th minute and then let in 2 goals.
Yeah, I remember. Wild. I was following that.
But basically, cut a long story short, if Leeds defeat Millwall by 2 goals, we will go above Leicester's goal difference.
Yeah, but they'll have a game in hand. So either way, all of a sudden, it's a 3-point difference. It's only a 4-point difference to third place. What was looking like a blowout in the championship and a certain first place for Leicester may now turn into what we have in the Premier League, which is a full-on 3-horse race from first to third.
Southampton's got a game in hand as well.
Journey. And lower yourself for 1 second to imagine you're a Leicester fan on December the 31st. And you
I'm
are
a Fox?
17
Or is that your way of calling me Foxy?
I've called you a lot worse, but
Just
that's okay. Imagine your Leicester fans. You're 17 points in front of Leeds on December 31st. And you know now on Sunday you could go second to that very team. It's insanity. That's the championship. And as I usually say, that's football.
Yeah.
But you guys beat them twice this year, didn't you?
We did.
Yes.
You cannot lose to the team chasing you twice in a season.
Well,
you
the thing is,
lose.
automatic promotion
Arsenal did that last year
for them now.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Like they might not finish second.
It's so close. Yeah,
it's so close, and Southampton's not that far out of it either. They have a game in hand. This is the one where
playing the FA Cup. That's why we can surpass them.
I feel like the Premier League should send down 4 this year based on what the table looks like, and just we could take all 4.
I mean, do we want Southampton back? Like, Do we want to change the rules so Southampton can get back, just so we can send Everton down? Like,
Yeah, you
I know
can.
we all
because
want
we
to.
usually
And
beat 'em.
for Everton, yeah, that's fine. That'd be only if Everton will be if Everton is the team in 17th, then we should relegate 4.
Then we switch it up.
I'm not sure it's going to matter because I think once the season is over, there's going to be another point deduction for Everton, which is why I think they rescinded a few of the points of the first deduction. Is that I do think that there's, end of the season is going to come, appeal process is going to be spent, and they'll be deducted another 10.
Can there be like an
changing the rules.
80-point deduction on City? Is that in the works?
They've already agreed to change the rules. They're going to basically change the model that they base this on, and it will be like up to 85% of your revenue, and you can't breach that.
Yeah,
That was
every
meeting
time I
earlier
try
in
and learn about it, and every time I try and teach myself something, I just get more and more confused, and it doesn't make sense.
I feel like they're doing it because they want to avoid doing all the points deductions, because the way the rules are structured right now, you're probably going to end up with like 10 teams between 2 leagues are going to end up getting points deductions.
As long as it's not
this is
Wolves,
just
because
teams
we've
we
sold
know.
everybody to prevent for this. We have nobody left.
I found it, Tom, just to clarify in case Gary didn't remember it. Bayern Munich? Bayern Munich? Where have I heard that name before? Arsenal eliminated from Champions League after 10-2 aggregate loss to Bayern Munich. Oh no. Yeah. That's it. Well done, Tom. Thank you for sending me those. Notice how I just can't find those usually. I just can't find them anywhere. But good on you, fellas. We have Champions League action. What are you guys? Are your minds blown? Are you guys so excited about this? You guys on the bottom row who aren't in the Champions League?
I think like the 4 best teams are all on one side, and the 4 next best teams, although the margins are so narrow at that, like it's why these 4 matches will be good. And I don't care. No one's going to want to have to play like Atleti if they like sneak their way into the final, right? Like that's why I think this is probably the best draw in a long time.
Yeah,
That's what happened last year, though. You ended up with a draw where you ended up with Real Madrid and Man City on one side of the draw. I think it was Chelsea as well. And then you ended up with everyone playing for basically the right to lose to the winner of that half of the draw. And some of the games will be good. I mean, is what it is, isn't it?
I mean, I'm still like Mark. I'm surprised because I just thought Inter could probably, had they been on that side, probably could have walked their way into the final. And just
had they been on that side, for sure.
Yeah.
But they tried to walk their way past Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen that way. Now, an important question for Gary over here. Gary, my Arsenal friend.
Yes, sir.
How does it feel to be listed up there with those teams? There's some pedigree up there, huh?
Oh yes.
How long has it been, Gary? How does it feel?
It's been a long time. It's been the last memories you've had of it have been disappointing. So so hopefully they can turn the tide on that one, right? So hopefully we can have some good times in the knockout rounds, home and away, two-legged affairs. So yeah, no, I got to see some of those games, and wow, this is not good. We are not at that level.
What's your best Champions League finish? Is it runners up?
Yeah. Get to Barcelona. So
I agree with that.
With the red card for striking a ball.
Yes. In a stadium that's like just going ballistic. So nobody can hear anything. So yeah.
What year was that?
Most Arsenal fans have tried to put that out of our mind as much as possible, where you're like, we've never even gotten to the finals, and people will be like, yes, you have, against Barcelona. I'm like, you shut your mouth. Hey, Uncle Art, sold the house. All right. Thanks for giving me the update on our live stream.
I
rest
thought you
in
won the
peace, abuela.
2006 Champions League final because you were winning 1-0 and then I had some tequila. And then I spent the second half throwing up in the toilet of the
That's
pub.
what did it.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's what did it.
So next day, I
no,
was like,
John,
Arsenal won 1-0, right?
John, you haven't seen the house, and it's a house in El Paso, so yeah, even the nicest ones. I tell my mom every time I go to her house, which is, not $1 million house or anything, but I was like, if you could just pick this house up and put it in Brooklyn, it'll be like a $30 million house, like in Texas. But everyone has a ranch house out there. Anyway, all right, fellas, you guys ready to get into some actual matches and start to talk about this? All right, who should we start with first?
Liverpool.
Okay, Liverpool in the Champions League, and we're done. Okay.
We're going for the watered down quadruple.
John, do I only have 3 of those on there?
Would it be watered down? You guys get the Europa if you got the Premier
It would be
League?
the lesser treble. It would be the lesser
quad.
I only see 3.
The lesser quad. You only see
You've
3,
already
right?
won the Carabao Cup. You're still in the. Are you still in the FA Cup?
Arsenal.
We have Scum on Sunday.
Let me see how much odds you can get on Liverpool to sweep the board.
All right, guys. So I want to start with PSG versus Barcelona. So the way we're going to do this so that we're not all constantly talking over each other is Tom is going to be baby in the corner down there, unfortunately hidden behind the Barca badge.
That's perfect, actually.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Oh, it's not perfect then.
Sorry, Tom, you're going to be in the corner there. All right, so my initial thoughts on PSG versus Barcelona, I talked about that a little bit, but some talking points that I want you guys to get into here is Barcelona are not the team of Messi. They are not the team of the past. They are a new look Barcelona. They're a highly injured Barcelona. I don't even think that they're playing at the new camp, right, Chris?
I think they're playing. I think they're
playing somewhere else.
Stadium while it's under construction, right?
Yeah. So only 50,000 fans can fit in there, and there's going to be a good amount of PSG fans there. So this is a match that I think PSG, if they want any chance of keeping Mbappe, which they have 0. Win the Champions League. If they have any chance of having this era of the money spending that they've done, if they want to mark this era with any sort of glimmer gloss on top of it, they need to win this Champions League. Xavi for Barca, I feel like winning the Champions League's awesome, but I feel like Barca is one of these teams that's in here right now going, yay, but we really can't. We don't have the firepower to do this. So what are your guys' thoughts? Who wants to talk first on this? I'm thinking probably Chris would have the most to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think PSG should really walk through this round pretty easily. I think Pedri's hurt. Lewandowski's been not even as good. He's not even 70% of the player he was last year. His production's fallen off considerably. They're such an inconsistent team, even in La Liga. It's a weak La Liga as well. PSG is inconsistent too, and I think they've been a little wobbly since all this emergence of what's happening with Mbappe. But Mbappe, I think, lives for big television games, and it's hard not seeing him score at least 4 goals across 2 games here and then pushing PSG through.
Yeah. Next, Gary, Tom, Mark.
I couldn't give a shit. about Champions League. So
Wait, what?
Champions League really is dull. It should go fuck itself. At this stage of the Champions League, the same teams always tend to play each other, and it's boring. It's not real
So
football.
who are you rooting for in the whole thing? Who do you want to win? Leeds.
Whatever upsets people the most. Who would it really upset you, Lolo, if they won it? Off the top of your head.
Oh no! Don't even say it. Don't even say it, Lolo. Don't even say it.
Well, it would upset me if there are 7 teams that would upset me if they won it.
Okay.
I gotta help Gary out here.
Yeah, because don't pick anyone.
Yeah, there are 7 teams that I would hate to win the Champions League, and 1 that I would love to win the Champions League. Now, if we're talking championship, there's only 1. You know,
I've always liked you, Lolo. You're about to say
on
Leicester,
the fence.
All right, Lolo. If Arsenal wasn't in it, and it was, I don't know,
been to the
Inter
final
Milan
as many times as Arsenal, Edgar.
Who would piss you off if they had won it?
If
Inter took Arsenal's position, and Arsenal wasn't.
I mean, it would piss me off if City won again.
Don't fall for it, Lolo. Lolo, move on.
It would piss me off if City won again. I don't want City to win again. If I was looking this and Arsenal were not in it, say Porto winning, I would want Porto to win. First of all, I'm in the camp. I'm in the camp of the team that knocks you out should win, because that means you only lost to the best team. You know, but I don't want Man City to win again. I don't want Real Madrid to win again.
Yeah, those are the two I don't want.
I would hate for PSG to win, because they don't deserve it. What's up, Taib? I would only be okay with Atletico, Dortmund.
That's it, really.
Maybe a cheeky Barcelona, just to give one. Just like if we're not going to win it, I'd rather them do it over. It's Barcelona just because, like, yay, and Xavi leaves. And he's going to walk away with the Champions League trophy and go on and coach Liverpool. And they're like, we got Xavi, everybody. We got Xavi. And they're like, that's Xavi with the V. Like, we wanted Xavi with the B. Yeah. Anyway, Gary, on this match?
Yeah, no. Kind of, when I looked at this match, when I looked at PSG, that was a team if Arsenal was going to get a lucky draw, my thought was PSG, just because they have Mbappe, but I don't think they have much else. And I felt like our defense could quiet Mbappe, and then we might be able to get something out of it in terms of moving on. But Barcelona also is in the same boat, so this could be one of those, like, it could be a blowout, but it also could be an ugly game. It could be a high scoring game, pretty much. I don't think it will be a low scoring game. So no, I think this might be an entertaining one, just because I think they are close in terms of where they sit, and if you were to rank all the teams, they're close to each other, pretty closely for either wherever they sit in that bottom 4, as people have said. So yeah, no, this one might, because Barcelona is nowhere where they used to be, and PSG has Mbappe, but isn't he kind of looking out the door, kind of?
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone, man.
Ask JSB.
Yeah. I feel like he's already gone. He's just kind of like buying time until they officially say, "All right, well, see you later, buddy." So I mean, some of that stuff that's going on when he kind of left the game and then was up in the stands with his family, I feel like, you know what? That's when it's one of those things where when a player was thinking about leaving, and then you go back and you look at their games, you're like, oh, they had already left. He basically is just like, I'm gone and I'm going to do whatever I want, and you're not going to do anything about it. So, are they going to get 100% from him? Maybe. But if things go sour, will he go and push? I doubt it. So it could be an ugly game. Yeah.
Sorry to interject, Gary, but that's exactly something about Mbappe that I do not like is he does disappear in games if he's not feeling it. He seems like not comparing him football wise, but attitude wise, I feel a lot of Marcus Rashford from him where, yeah, usually a great mentality, but there are games where you see him, if he's not getting his way and if he's not getting everything going his way, he starts to fall out. No? Is that
Definitely. No, definitely. I mean, that's kind of the thing. So that's why I thought it would be good for us to be able to play against him because, if he gets by Saliba and Gabriel's there and he's like, damn, eventually that just wears on you. And then, eventually he's out the game mentally probably. And then, hopefully we're running, you would think you'd be running away with it. So, but yeah, now I kind of feel like it could be somewhat entertaining if there's a lot of scoring going on. Otherwise it could get ugly in terms of not really a competitive game. So
I have a question.
For
Lolo. What the hell is that next to you that I'm looking at?
Well, I needed to add something. Tom was blocked down here by the Barca logo. Whoever's
Johann Sebastian Bach.
So I added somebody else, and it just happens to be me. So yeah, that's me. So I'm just living in the corner here. Leave me alone. Oh.
I saw that. I was trying to. I was like, "Did you just change your picture? That's a weird thing to do."
No, when I logged on today, it was like, we cannot find your camera. Cannot locate your camera. The only camera I have active is this one, and it couldn't find. So I was like, 5 minutes before the show, I was like, I'm gonna have to do the entire show as this guy, whoever this guy is. I'm not really sure.
It's Bach, isn't it?
I don't know. All right, Mark, PSG Barcelona.
Looking it up.
To be honest, this has been the first season that I've actually watched like a lot of the Champions League. Normally I just wait till the final and I watch the final and that's it. But this particular season I'm paying attention, and in this particular matchup, that I guess what surprises me most is that as far as PSG and Barcelona are concerned, this is supposed to be a rebuilding year, and here they are as rebuilding teams in the quarterfinals, which I find somewhat hilarious. I think this among all the others is a very exciting match. I don't see Mbappe disappearing. I've actually, it seems to me that he's been putting his best foot forward. And against a team that really, I guess, when we talked about it earlier, saying that, if there was a team that maybe didn't deserve to be there, I guess someone could vote Barcelona. They've got a couple of injuries in the midfield who may be back in time. Would they be in form in Pedri and De Jong?
I think Frankie De Jong is going to be back, but I don't know. I don't think Pedri.
I don't know. There's talk of it. I mean, it's not until mid-April, right? Is that when these games begin?
First week of April.
First week of April. So maybe be back for the second leg. I don't know. It's gonna be fun to watch. But again, in my mind, to just have two teams, talk last summer and into the early part of this year and talk about, we're a rebuilding team. Don't really consider us for anything, and then here they are.
Isn't Barcelona, at least as a team and on a club, on their down years, they may not be favorites to win, but they're still going to be able to be in Champions League, and maybe they can make it to the knockout rounds. You know what I mean? Because
right.
I mean, that's kind of how I look at it, and it's a down time because they have nobody expects them to win at all, right? No matter who loses, who makes it to the final on the other side.
I think it's Xavi's already stepped down after the season. Like, in a weird way, there's no pressure on him. Like, it's kind of, they're not going to win the league, right? They're too far behind Madrid. Like, this is the real, like, they were at risk of falling out of the top four, but I don't think that's the case because I think Bilbao lost 2 weeks ago and they've got some separation there. Like, this is what's left. They're not in the Copa del Rey. Like, go balls to the wall, and that's it. You know, they're not going to win, but they should be very much up for these games. O is starting their best squad. Hopefully Pedri's back. Gavi's out for the season. They're a much different team when they have both of them. That's not the case. But you still have Gundogan. You still have De Jong. I mean, Lewandowski's old, but he's usually pretty decent in the Champions League. You know,
right? And that's a ton of experience. You know, that's a ton of championship experience there. That Barcelona can muster and try and rally around. Mo Master says that Barca has no chance, but I'm not buying that.
Yeah, Mark, because PSG has not been that impressive, to be honest. Like, I know they're going about their business. They're here. We're all in this next phase. So we've all gotten here somewhere. We've beaten the teams in front of us. We've won the group stages.
Well, sometimes they've been better when their league has been more competitive. I think they're 16 points ahead of second place or something like that. So you don't have to be very good in your league at that point. And maybe that's even what hurt Inter to a degree,
right,
that they've just been able to punish teams in Italy this year. And then sometimes that makes you not as sharp. But
yep. All right. So let's go ahead and give our 2-leg predictions on this. Okay. So I can go ahead and kick it off for you. So PSG, I don't know if I put these in order. Does anybody know who's home first or away first? Is it in the thing?
Give me a second.
Yeah, that's the first leg right there.
That is PSG is at home.
PSG is first. They play at home first.
Yeah. Okay.
Trust Gary.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it 1-0 PSG at home, and then it's going to be a 2-1 Barcelona victory at their home, and it's going to go to penalties, and PSG is still going to go through. Sorry, right.
Alan.
Next up is going to be Mark.
I'm going to be brief on this, as I believe that we're going to see the same thing as we saw with Sociedad, where it's like a 2-0 at home for PSG, and then on the road it's 2-1 for a total of 4-1. Same thing. I think Mbappe wants to do everything he can to send Saint-Germain off as he rides into the sunset and goes plays at greener pastures elsewhere.
Whiter pastures,
if you will.
There you go. All right, Mr. Tom.
Right, I think it will be 4-0 in the first leg to PSG, and then I think Barcelona will win the second leg 6-1.
A repeat of was that 6-7 years ago?
What was it? The remontada.
It's
Remontada.
It's Messi only had to just gust of wind would touch Messi, and the referee would be like, right, penalty to Barcelona, penalty immediately. Come on, narrative and all that. But no, seriously, I do think Barcelona will win it. I think they'll edge it because PSG, they've just got this thing about them, like they are for the big clubs, they are the choke highest because they spend half their season in meaningless matches that they sleepwalk through. Basically, they're on a hide into nothing. Most of their season, they play matches where if they don't win by a lot, they get slagged off. And then if they do lose, they get slagged off even more. So they can't actually win, even if they do win. And then when they don't win the Champions League, it's even worse.
Yeah.
All in all, fuck them. Barcelona will win it.
All right.
Oh, see, I thought he said, fuck it, Arsenal are going to win it. Like, I was like, yeah, Tom, finally. No, he didn't say that. Okay, who do we got? Chris.
I'm going to go PSG 3-1 and then 1-1 the next game, 4-2 PSG goes through.
PSG goes through again. Gary.
I was going to say something similar to what Chris said, but I was going to switch it up. Mbappe is going to get the brace in the home match, and then help them get. So it'll be 2-1 in the first leg, 2-1 in the second leg for PSG, and
I almost did 2-1, 2-1 as well.
Yeah, so I think he will score 3 goals, and then the next round, that's when he'll kind of bow out. So, but yeah, that's how I got it going.
But PSG?
Yep, PSG 4-2.
All right, the only one who actually watches every kick of the ball that is on television, Chris.
I just did it.
Somehow you got swapped. Sorry, this guy.
Bach. What does Bach think?
Well, the thing is about PSG. I do not like them at all. But the Barcelona, they are a bunch of.
Why does he sound like your Sean Connery Highlander impression?
Is he German?
That's the only thing
exactly,
he's got.
because I believe Bach was Austrian, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry.
close enough.
I don't care about this football stuff. I don't care. All I care about is music.
not
Right?
Bach, he's
Is
Egyptian.
music. I just like the music. Get out of here.
Oh man.
Sorry. Okay. Fun stuff.
How'd you get that? Can you make it anybody, or is it like a?
Yeah, I can.
No, it's just Bach.
Didn't you? Yeah, that's it. That's all the licensing they've got.
We got one. We went for the most culturally relevant musician with the kids today.
It's one of the
albums,
the
Chris.
free ones they give you. They give you like Bach, a puppy, and a baby.
Those are the 2 things he used to eat. So
This is how I become. No, now he's just Arnold. This is how I get better at what I'm doing. I eat puppies
and babies.
and babies.
And they make poopies.
I make poopies.
Does he become Arnie now?
God,
We should do the whole show.
Yeah.
As classical composers?
As classical composers. Oh my God. Okay.
Be
Let's
very
move
close
on
to that Monty
the next
Python
match.
skit where it's the philosophers playing soccer. You ever see that one? It's the Greeks versus the Romans.
Is that Flying Circus, or was that in a?
Yeah, it was definitely a skit that the circus did. But
we have to YouTube that later.
you know, and Heigl has an idea.
Get to the next match.
All right, get to the next match. Which is the one we would like to talk about
Dortmund.
next? Let's
Stay on the right side of the table.
All right, we have Borussia Dortmund versus Atletico Madrid. This is one that I was talking about. Both Atletico Madrid and Borussia Dortmund. Oh, God damn it. Hiccups. Both Borussia Dortmund and Atletico Madrid may not make it to the Champions League in the usual way, which is by coming in first through fourth in their domestic leagues. So this is going to be the only way that they will be in the Champions League next year, unless, of course, something changes in the league. But, guys, what are our thoughts on this? Chris, you mind going first?
Atletico's fourth, so they could still happen. I don't know. Fuck. This is like these teams were runner. Dortmund was runner-up in 13. Madrid's runner-up 14 and 16. Like these are the teams that have almost done it, and I was rooting for them in the finals against Bayern and Real Madrid, and Atleti should have fucking beat Real Madrid. Goddamn Sergio Ramos 93rd-minute goal to take it to extra time. I know that's not what you asked, but I just needed to get that off my chest. This is going to be. These are going to be like 2-1. I think this is going to be 2-1 nothing games and penalties, and I just think Simeone in that scenario, I think the mental toughness of Atletico takes over. 1-0, 1-0 penalties, Atletico.
All right, Mark.
Two very unlikely teams to make it this far. Teams that, sure, Atletico has, they have their stars, but their stars aren't nearly as bright as, say, as a PSG or an Arsenal or a Munich. These teams play very, very well as a team, as a collective, at least from what I've seen. I think that if they could have chosen any team to play in this draw, they would have chosen one another. So they got what they want. They got the best matchup to hope that they could advance, to the semis. I agree with Chris. I think we're going to see a couple of at-home 1-0s and have it go to a shootout, and God knows what's going to happen at that point. I think, where, my surprise about PSG and Barcelona being, in the midst of rebuilding, and yet they get this far. I think these two teams are just very surprised that they've gotten this far. I don't think anyone expected Atletico to get beyond Inter. A couple of home 1-0s and a shootout to finish it off, and God knows what happens at that point.
Don't care. There won't be many goals, probably. I don't care who wins. As Mark said, they both wanted to draw each other if they had to draw someone. So they're both probably secretly thrilled. Atletico Madrid think they're going to shithouse their way through this. Dortmund think they're going to break the shithousing. And I won't watch it, so I don't care.
All right, that sounds about right. Gary, what are your thoughts on Borussia Dortmund, Atletico Madrid?
Yeah, I feel Atletico Madrid, as you said, they may have surprised some making it through, and they made it through. I think scoring goals, and they do. If they go back to their what we've seen in the past, which I think they might do in their home in the second leg here, but in this first leg, I think they might be able to. It'll be a 1-1 draw, and then they'll go back home. It'll be one. It'll be a 1-0 win by Atletico Madrid, and they'll just do what they usually do. So I haven't just played Porto. I would have been concerned playing Atletico Madrid if I was Arsenal, because they would have just they do have attacking threats, but I think they also have, at least from their manager down, that they have the ability to just muck up a game and just make it painful for everyone except for themselves, because they get what they want at the end of the day. So I feel like they still have that card in their pocket. We did see, kind of a nice game, not a nice game, but more of a attacking style game against the Inter, at least what I saw. So I feel like in this one, I feel like they can shut down if they wanted to, Dortmund. And Jadon Sancho did look nice in the last game, but that was PSV. This is a different animal. I think they're playing this time. So yeah, that's how I got a 2-1 Atletico with just an ugly game in the second leg when they're home.
I mean, yeah, this is the most, I think, attacking they've been that I've ever seen under Simeone. I mean, Griezmann's been incredible this year. This is the best season Morata's ever had. They're scoring 2 goals a game in La Liga, but I just have a feeling the further they go into the Champions League, they'll kind of become old school Simeone instead of attacking Simeone.
Yeah, and
they're playing with house money is what I think. They were playing with house money, and now oh damn, look where we are. We might be able to make it to the finals. So you know what? Let's just get to the finals and then we'll figure it out there. And they can figure it out there. You know, if they play their old style game, I don't think any of the teams in that side of the draw are willing to play like that. And I think, you know, like you said with Griezmann, and then they able to, who is it? Who came off the bench and scored for them in the last match. But I think they do have some answers on the bench in terms of scoring if they need to. So yeah, I think they're playing with house money and they could be the scary team. Like everybody said, Inter with their style could make it, but like Atletico with that wild card that they can go in there and just make things ugly. You know, I don't think we've seen it as much as we've seen it in the past, but I have a feeling it's there if they need it.
Yeah. Well, let's get to our predictions. And I am predicting the most Simeone of all Simeones that we can ever Simeone, because if I was an Atletico Madrid supporter, I would be fearful of returning to the hardcore Simeone days, which, as long as they have their backs to the ropes, they can't do that because they need to win. They need to advance. You can't just hope for penalties here. So I think Atletico Madrid at home to Dortmund, first leg, it's going to be 0-0 till the 90th minute or so. And I think Atletico Madrid lets them walk one in. Just go ahead and walk one in. It is now 1-0. We need to go back to Madrid. And now we have the impetus to do some business and play some forward, newer Simeone style. Because I feel that if Atletico Madrid go up 2 goals, if they walk away with a 2-goal lead, and then they go back home, they're going to sit back. They're just going to sit back, and Dortmund's going to enjoy that. And they'll level it, and then it may be too late. So I think if Atletico Madrid spot Borussia Dortmund a goal in the first leg, Atletico Madrid wins 2-0 in the second leg, and Atletico Madrid moves on. That's my take. What you got? Anybody?
I got 2-1 Atletico. So.
I went 1-1 along with Chris and having it finish in a shootout. That's what I think.
Okay. Gary?
I have it 2-1 on 2-1 on aggregate. Atletico wins it. They win it 1-0 at home. So there you go.
Wow. Mark, what was your final thought? Who wins this?
Who
advances?
I think, man, it could go either way. You know, I think both.
That's
both
not what
teams,
I'm asking you.
I know. If I put a gun to my head, I'm gonna go with Atletico. Griezmann is playing just far too well, and you know that's where I sit. I think a Griezmann is better than a Sancho in this case.
Ooh, Chris?
1-1 over 2 legs, penalties, Atletico.
Wow. Way to fill some time in your slot.
Didn't I already say 1-0, 1-0?
Did we already do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like for us to talk, and then we come back to our.
Are you old
Didn't
now?
you guys get the script I sent out? I
got a piece of paper, but it had no check in it, so I
syllabus.
didn't even read it. Sorry.
All right, let me embellish.
Thank you.
1-0, first leg. It'll be a penalty with a red card that will take Sancho out of the second game. Second game, Dortmund plays better because Sancho's on the bench, and Sebastian Aller scores in the 93rd minute to take it to extra time, in which extra time will be boring as fuck because it always is, and it shouldn't exist anymore. They go right to penalties, and Atletico wins 5-3 on penalties. I don't know, can you win 5-3 on penalties, or do they just stop it before that happens? I don't know.
Maybe.
You can if you go first.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
No, there is a way round where
Yeah. Because they don't get to take the last penalty.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it will be 0-0 in the first leg. It's at Dortmund's first leg, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
so
I
it'll be
believe
0-0
so.
in the first leg. Then Atletico Madrid are
Yes.
going to score in the first minute of the second leg.
Actually, in
And
the
then
first leg, it's Atletico in the first leg.
Oh,
What?
even better then, because they are going to then score in the
you're
first minute of the first leg, and then you will be forced to watch 179 minutes of fuck all happening, but people rolling around on the floor.
Tom, does Rodrigo de Paul score for Leeds because he should have played for Leeds?
Well, if you're taking Atletico Madrid players that should have played for Leeds, you could also be saying the guy that now plays for Wolves, who Cunha, I believe it is.
Cunha,
They bought off of. We were perennially linked with him, but again, we're perennially linked with loads of players. But until you put the fucking checkbook out, you get no one.
Right.
But anyway, yeah. So I would like to ask the panel a question. All right, a serious question, Lolo. Promise. Of the 4 teams that we've discussed, which one of the 4 will actually make it to the final?
Okay.
Because they will play each other in the semi, I believe.
Yeah. So we've got Borussia Dortmund, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, and PSG. Does anybody have any strong feelings about this?
I don't have strong feelings, but for some reason, I just feel like Atleti is going to get through to the final because I think PSG will just kind of not deliver at that point. I think Griezmann can unlock that PSG team.
Yeah, I think you're leaning to something here because my problem with PSG and Barcelona is I feel like they don't have any backbone. They don't have any. They just they're lacking, and as bad as Atletico Madrid can be, they feel like the toughest, the most together. The toughest one to beat out of 2 legs because they can play you way back defensive, but they've also got Morata La Patata, who's playing very well, and Griezmann, who's playing very well as well. So I feel like
Can you say that 4 times in a row without stopping, please?
Morata La Patata, Morata La Patata, Morata La Patata, Morata La Patata, Morata La Patata.
It's like
Well,
a Gatling gun.
congratulations. All right, and you did an extra one to show off, but now
I
can you
did.
do it while stood on one leg while with
I can do harder
nose?
ones, Tom. I don't know if you know, but I did go to theater school.
That didn't
Okay, you
sound
want to
as
try
PG
one?
as
You want
I
to try?
think you
Want to
meant it.
try one, Tom? Can you
Definitely
say?
didn't sound as PG as you meant it, but
Can you say?
but,
Unique New York.
unique New York.
You just want Gabriel Paulista
Can
to
you
go
say
to the final.
you need unique New York?
You need unique New York.
You know you need unique New York.
You know you need unique New York.
You know you
Fucking
need
hell.
New York.
No, all right, but I do have strong feelings on it. Okay, not the needing unique New York thing, but I have strong feelings on who will make it to the final. My strong feelings are I don't care, but because I don't care doesn't mean I didn't want to hear what you all thought about it. Hence why I asked.
Yeah.
No, you don't get to hear until you say.
You need unique New York.
But I
Do it
already
again.
said it. All right, you need.
Oh, that's a
unique
good one,
New
Pink
York.
Cushion.
Ken
Ken
Dodd's
Dodd's dad's dog's dead.
Did he?
Ken Dodd's
Doddy.
dad's dog's dead.
That's good.
Ken Dodd died, did he? Doddy. My dad
Yeah,
used to say that to me.
No, his dad's
Know about
dog
his
died.
dad? His dad's dog died too.
Poor Ken.
It's a tragic time in the Dodd family, clearly.
I tell you what.
Okay, have we all given? I think cheekily. unless Borussia Dortmund wins the first round, I'm going with Atletico Madrid out of that one. Go to the final. Good.
Who do you think, Gary?
I think of the 4 teams, I think Atletico Madrid is the one team that can play multiple styles, and they'll just use whichever one they need to. If they have, if for example, like you said, if Dortmund does score in that first, and when they're home, and Atletico can they can turn it on if they needed to. I think they'll do that. But then, if they have control of the leg, the two-legged affair, then I think they'll just go into their shell, and you won't get anything out of the game. Will get ugly, like I said. So, Atletico, I think, will be able to do that to any of the 3 teams in there. So, yeah, onwards they go to the final.
Yeah. Mark, you said Atleti? Everybody's saying Atletico.
I know absolutely fuck all. But in these 4 teams remaining, the team that I think is toughest up front and has a decent in the back is going to be PSG. I think PSG is the team that ends up in the final.
Wait, what was that you said? The team that looks what?
They just I mean with who is it?
No, I want the specific thing you said because it was awesome.
Oh Jesus!
You said the most attacking up front.
They have. I mean, they're. I think they have the most. They're the strongest up front, and they're. I'm not going to say they're equally, in the back 3 or 4, whatever they play, but I mean, it just. I think they're the team that moves forward. With who is it? Odemba. I'm
Dembele.
Dembele.
He's still playing football.
Mbappe, Vitina. I mean, they're just some very strong players. Vitina used to wear the Wolf jersey.
He can't still be playing.
I believe.
Who?
Hakimi?
Dembele.
There's a bunch of Dembeles. There's a bunch of Dembeles.
Yeah, that's like Jones in Africa.
No, but they paid like 120 million for him or something like that, and then he got injured for a year.
Who?
Something like that.
Which Dembele are you talking about?
Barcelona bought a Dembele from Dortmund.
Yeah, he's at PSG now. They bought him from Dortmund. Dortmund bought him from Rennes.
Yeah, that's Ousmane Dembele, right?
Yeah. He's on PSG. He's not. He didn't start the last time I watched him play. He had a much better year last year for Barca. But
yeah,
I'll tell you the one team Atleti will struggle with if they play is Barca, because Barca is always a good matchup for them. But I don't think Barca will get past PSG, so it won't matter.
Correct. All right, guys. Well, it is halftime. We've gone through 2 of these matches in an hour. We're making excellent time. We will be back in just about 5 minutes. We've got a short, or 4 minutes. We've got a short little trivia thing to help cover our bio breaks that we need to take as old men who are drinking with y'all on a Friday night. So, and Mark, I didn't even realize the show started at 11 p.m. in the UK.
Okay. Yes.
We probably should have maybe told people that. Like, we didn't even think about that.
7 Eastern is 7 Eastern is 7 Eastern.
Yeah.
And we are not. We're not suffering.
All right.
We saved the daylight, folks.
Yeah,
we did
absolutely.
We saved daylight.
So, everybody, we will be back in about 3 minutes. We're just going to go refill our beers, get rid of my hiccups, use the restroom, and we will be back in 3 minutes with Betting in the Dark with Mr. Tom. So here we go. And we're back. All right. Thank you, Mark, for putting together a little video. We're back. All right. Hello, everybody. Oh. I was like, I can't hear you. I can't hear anybody. Oh, I don't have my ear in.
That's because we're not talking.
Yeah, you're not saying anything. Let me turn that music.
I was waiting for the
down.
music to stop.
Yeah, I was like, something doesn't. What is that?
Which one is that, Lolo? Out of interest?
That was rock.
Rock.
Just
Yeah, we
rock.
don't have many options on here. We just said
I like
that, and
feeding
the
the ducks.
I can't celebrate a goal is on there. Yep. Okay. All right, guys. So we are now in the lovely section that we like to call betting in the dark with Mr. Tom. Are you ready for that, Tom?
Let's do the
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
Do it.
Betting in the dark with Mr. Tom.
Come on, love, place your bets.
All
Come
right.
on, love. Yeah, anyway. Yeah. So, it is the Lolo's Back edition of Betting in the Dark.
All right. Let's
So,
do it. First
okay.
one. I'm interested to see what you chose this week because there's not very much to bet on, is there? But we have
Down
Fulham
Premier
Spurs.
League. Premier
When is
League.
that?
Unfortunately for some, Spurs are going to win because they're going to win. And
What-
I've got faith. Son's going to get a brace. Madson's going to get the other. Get yourself nearly 200 quid. I mean, they're going to let him go because they are Spurs. But
When did they
Machine.
play?
Sunday,
it's 5:30 on Saturday, I believe.
Saturday.
Well, in England, 5:30. So it'll be the late game. It actually plays at the same time as another game on Betting in the Dark in the first time ever, I believe.
Oh wow, there's Premier League games tomorrow. I didn't even realize
Of course
that.
there is.
Yeah, there's only like
Three.
the first four matches that were of the day that were postponed. There's
Oh wow.
three
Luton
tomorrow,
Nottingham is going to be a meaningful
and then
game.
one on Sunday.
Yeah, West Ham.
Imagine
Villa
how
on
much of a meaningful game it would have been if Luton hadn't fucking bottled their 3-goal lead.
Oh Jesus Christ! And can I add to that, Mr. Tom, that it was a 3-0 halftime lead?
I feel like
Of course you
Luton
can add
is
it. It's
becoming
certainly
Mark's second
relevant.
club. He's going to follow them in the championship.
Probably. I don't think they get relegated though.
Really?
I
Those are
think
good
at the
for
end of the season there'll be another 10-point deduction for Everton, which is why they had their initial 10 points
Nah.
reduced to 6 because there's
Or-
more coming down the pipe.
Orange
That
kits
will-
of the world unite and
That
take
will
over.
be enough for
Nope.
Luton to stay up.
Premier League don't want Everton relegated. It's why they gave them the 10 points to create the sense of injustice that had them win a few games. Like, because it's
fair.
amazing how that can sort of motivate someone, the injustice of a situation. And then they went, oh, actually, we'll just give you just enough points back so you can actually survive anyway.
Right. I mean,
So,
Forest is under really terrible form right now. Brentford is terrible. I mean, who knows, man? Maybe by week 31, I'll be doing the bio break from the crapper.
Yeah. Wow.
please do
Well-
get promoted. Do not bring that back. I'm sick of being in the crap on a weekly basis.
Yeah. Well, are we
My fault.
sure?
We spotted you 6 points.
Are we
That's
sure
what I
that
do.
Madison is? Are we sure that Madison is back this weekend?
I have no idea. But if
Wasn't
he
he-
is,
didn't he play last
scored.
weekend?
If he don't,
He
Yeah.
played last weekend?
sure he did.
Oh, wow.
I can let you know in just a second.
He may have scored. No?
Madison.
Oh,
is
he actually
off-
scored and assisted, I believe,
yeah,
last week. You're
Madison
right.
is
You're
off
right.
the injured list.
Yeah, he scored. I think he scored and assisted last week.
That explains why I picked him. I was like, he did sign last week.
You
All
think
right.
they'll be the team that finishes fourth?
There's a chance.
More because Aston Villa have gone out of their way to not finish fourth.
Villa concedes a lot.
I think Spurs
Surprising
finish
for an
fourth.
Emery team, but they are the best team left in that Europa Conference, so I'm sure they'll try to win that.
Of course they will, because it's a trophy, isn't it? It's a major trophy. Well, depending on what you define as major. Yeah, exactly. But for them, it'd be a big deal. It'd be a European trophy. Same as like for West Ham, it's a big deal. Even though like they have the budget that surpasses like every team remaining in the competition combined, so they should win it.
No, isn't West Ham? I mean, Liverpool's in there, right?
Not in the
In
Europa
Europa.
Conference League, sir.
Yeah,
Not Conference League.
West Ham's in
not
West
league.
Ham's in the
West Ham
Europa
is
League.
not in the
Yeah.
Europa Conference. They're in the.
West
This year
Ham is
they're
in
in
the
the
Europa.
Europa.
Last year, West Ham were in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Europa
yeah.
Conference.
Oh, I thought you meant this year. I was like, no,
No,
that's
no,
not
no,
true.
That's
no.
why West Ham is in the league this year, in the Europa League,
Yeah, because they won.
because they won last year.
Yeah, 'cause it certainly weren't their league form.
No.
All right, let's get to the next one.
Gone for. I believe these games kick off at the same time, so this is a FA Cup quarter-final match, and I'm going to go. Erling's going to get 2 or more, and Alvarez is going to get the other. 4-1. Again, similar money, nearly 200.
I like this.
Are not playing like a side that makes this unrealistic, in my
The
opinion.
only risk is Holland squeezes out Alvarez's goal by scoring
By stealing it
by-
off his foot.
by
He
scoring
he shoves
scoring all
Alvarez
four.
down to the ground.
What I'm hoping for is he gets 2 early goals and then Pep sort of like, Champions League, I need him rested, even though he ain't gonna be playing for 2 weeks because he's gonna take his customary national break injury, and then injury, and then like De Bruyne is apparently he's not fit enough to play for Belgium for the next 2 weeks, but he will be fit enough to play against Arsenal on the return.
Absolutely, he will. Absolutely, he will.
Is he pulling a Ben
Before
White?
country. Yeah, they said he's injured, so he can't go to Belgium. And Holland usually waits till the day before to say, no, I can't make it.
Will De Bruyne be
Holland
injured
actually
as well?
turns up, doesn't he? He does like the back to school, I forgot my homework kind of thing, but actually turns up to tell the teacher he hasn't done the homework because he's ill, and then gets sent out.
Exactly.
But still.
All right, I like this one. Turn $1 into 200, pretty much. Yeah.
Get more in
not
America.
bad.
Plus
All
for
right.
27 pence. I'm going for Liverpool to get the 3-0 win. Old Trafford on Sunday. I think Liverpool are going to play a weakened side to the degree of, well, they just played on Thursday. So I'll be very surprised if they send Salah out at Old Trafford. They might, but even still, I still think Diaz, because Diaz has scored about 4 or 5 goals in 2024, which is probably not bad for Luis Diaz, despite what people think of him. And Dan's will probably get one.
Whoa,
as well,
what do people think
because,
about Luis Diaz? What did that mean?
well, he's not exactly the highest on the totem pole in the reputation of your strikers, is he?
He's a wide player. He's a chaos maker. We love him. Don't say.
Hey,
don't just-
I think he's
don't talk-
perfectly fine, but all the internet memes that slag him off don't. So
Those people
you
can
know.
all. Those people aren't fans. They go fuck themselves.
Yeah, but if it's in a meme, it's got to be true. So, law of the internet. So, I've missed our discussions, Christopher.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I think one of the young lads will score. So gamble it will be down. So you can turn that into 150. You actually get less for having Man United score. Because I did try out 3-1.
I like that kid. I feel like he's going to be our younger version of like Origi, kind of like the foil. He could be a foil in a couple of games.
Right.
When his dad a footballer?
His dad was a footballer. Yeah.
I just want Oscar Bob to have the reputation where he's just known as Bob, like a Pepe or a Willian or something like that. He's just one name, and I
still think he has the best goal of the season, even better than the Garnacho one. Like that
goal was amazing.
That goal fucking was just like,
I've only seen about 7 goals in the Premier League this year.
That was absolutely fantastic. That goal by Oscar Bob was awesome. Okay, so that was betting in the dark with Mr. Tom. Just remember, all those bets, we do not encourage you to place any money down. We do ask Mr. Tom to find the largest odds that he can possibly find that could maybe happen, and all of those could happen. So if you got $1, feel free to put it down on it, but we are not encouraging you to place those bets. If you do, feel free to send us some of that money. Or don't. We're not telling you to do anything.
All right, fellas. Give Lolo 10%, basically.
Arsenal's got to come last, so we got to do the Madrid one.
Okay. Good call. I wasn't going to do that anyway. All right, guys. We have Man City versus Real Madrid.
Can they
goodness.
disappear into a void and never come back again?
No.
Yeah, just a big hole opens up in the middle of the pitch.
That's what I would like the best.
This one, guys, did you guys feel a little let down seeing this as well? Because it is unfortunate that one of these teams is not going to get to the final, that we aren't going to have a Man City Real Madrid final. I know as an Arsenal fan, I loved it, going awesome. One of you guys is gone.
Disappoints me so greatly.
I feel that these are two of Arsenal's biggest competitors in the competition, and one of them has to be dealt with. And then hopefully if Arsenal get past Bayern, we have to deal with the other one. So I don't know. This is a tough one, and I think this is almost a coin flip.
Do you have to deal with them? Will you have to deal with them, though?
We will when we
What kind of question is that?
When we beat Bayern.
What kind of question is that, Mr. Tom?
I think it's a very fair question. I just felt it was a bit presumptuous to just assume Arsenal were going to be left to deal with.
It goes both ways, sir. It goes both ways.
I said if. Don't, Tom. Don't start getting the football gods mad at me. I said if. Do I think it's going to happen? Yes. But that's mean. I'm crazy. So all right, guys, what are we feeling about this? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first because I'll be quick. This could have easily been the final. As two of the best teams. They are the best teams. But they're going to slug it out in the quarterfinal. And if I'm not mistaken, it's the last two champions of the Champions League or winners of the Champions League. Is that correct? Anyone?
Yep.
I mean, two teams that pit the best coaches in the world and feature two of the best players in the world. And it's just that was the elephant in the room, everyone.
I know exactly. I was like, what?
It has all the drama, everything, and I'm very happy that it is happening in the quarterfinals because I think this is the only way. Everyone has kind of expressed their opinion over the last couple of months that they don't want City to win again and they don't want Real Madrid to win. This is how you get that. This is how you get a step closer to that. This is how you give the rest of the field a chance. Is you hope for a matchup like this in the quarterfinals. So I think this is going to be the most watched of them all. And again, two of the best coaches with two of the best scorers, and then all the other players that are just littered around. Rodri playing. I mean, is anyone better than him right now? Not really. I know Lolo would disagree.
I mean, the next best defensive midfielder in the world is at Madrid with Tchouaméni. So it's like,
right. Exactly. So
I fucking hate these.
Both these teams are just ridiculously stacked, and it's just going to be very, very fun to watch. I think City can get got. They're not the same team as they were last year, especially without their man of the match in Gundogan. I think they missed that guy more than they thought. But I mean, City's the champ for a reason, and until we are proven differently, which could happen in this tie, they're the team to beat.
Yeah, I feel you, Mark. And but here's the thing, that it's these intangibles, right? These intangible things that really change. It's what makes competitions like the Champions League, the Europa League, it makes them special, is that these intangible things where Real Madrid, the last time they won it, not last season, the season before, if you remember, they were down multiple times. And we kept saying, if you're not beating Real Madrid by 2 or 3 by halftime, they're going to come back and win this, because they have this pedigree of Champions League where it's something that you just can't touch, that you can't fight against. You can't football against these, just being able to, in the moment, come from behind and make it happen, where it's like having the 12th man in your stadium. Is something going to Seattle, if you remember NFL football, Mark, when the 12th man in Seattle was so crazy, they wouldn't be playing that good, and then that stadium would get them into it. This isn't a stadium situation. This is more a history situation where, once again, if Man City do not put them away, and even last season where I think there was a 1-1 draw the first match, and then the second match, Man City were on them, and we kept saying they need 4 to win this. They need 4 to win this. They ended up getting 4, and they won it. Yes, it was like 4-1 or something, but had they kept it close, Real Madrid could have gotten 2-3 goals in a heartbeat and come back and won. But it's those weird intangibles that, yes, I feel City is a better team than Real Madrid right now. I think City should be able to win this, no problem. But it's that weird shit with Real Madrid. It's that magic. It's that mojo, that weird bruja shit.
I think
where,
yeah,
go.
I think one thing that if this comes down to penalties, like one of the biggest missing pieces for Madrid is Courtois out this year. Like, I don't trust Kepa or Andre Lunin or whoever if it gets to that point. Like, in that case, you got to favor Ederson. Like, I think that it could come down to not having Courtois as your backstop.
Well, Mo Master says he's coming back.
I didn't know. I thought he was out for the year. But
I think that's a big if. I don't think Courtois comes back. I thought he was pretty horribly injured.
Yeah.
Kind of in the who's the guy for Barcelona?
Ter Stegen?
Stegen?
No. Younger kid.
Gabby?
Gabby.
Gabby has an
'Cause
ACL.
he blew his knee around
Yeah.
like Boxing Day, didn't he?
Even maybe a little bit earlier, maybe in November.
Yeah.
But
I don't.
These are the two best midfields in the world, bar none.
Yep.
Especially if KDB's healthy. There's so much depth in that Madrid midfield. It's really incredible. To me, this is like the difference maker can be Haaland, but as good as his stats are this year, there's just a lot of game. Like, he was completely invisible against Liverpool. Like, he has that ability to kind of disappear where he doesn't touch the ball a whole lot and he just is kind of not a part of the game.
Well, in
that's
last year's semifinal, Haaland did not play a significant role in defeating Real.
Yeah, and that's the tough thing with a player like Erling Haaland is where you're like, how can you say he's having a non-impactful season if he scored over 20 goals already? And you go, well, he's had 6 hat tricks. That's 6 matches where he gets 18 of those 20 goals. Not that those stats are correct, but I'm just saying when he scores, if he scores early, you're almost guaranteed he's getting a hat trick in there. It's why betting in the dark doesn't include Erling Haaland hat tricks because they don't pay off. So, it's interesting where you're totally right.
Mainly
It's not
'cause I'm a
just about
coward.
shutting down Erling Haaland because teams do that all the time. It's about shutting Erling Haaland down and then also shutting down Bernardo Silva, Julian Alvarez, Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri.
Right.
Foden.
And not only that, but it's not a matter of like one guy shutting Haaland down. It takes 3, which opens it up for the rest of the team. When you've got like kind of 3 kind of closing ranks around Haaland, it's pick your poison after that.
Yeah.
The main
That's
reason
right.
I don't put Haaland in betting Dot hat trick is because I'm a coward.
Well, thank you for admitting that. There was a lot of chatter on Twitter about if you were or if you were not a
I
coward.
bet on him for hat tricks in games that he's not even playing in because he's not on either of those teams. That's how often he scores hat tricks.
Yeah, Haaland's going to come on the
at home.
Fulham Tottenham match for a hat trick. It still only pays like 3-1.
And he's 4 goals in the cup at Luton.
Right.
I mean, it is Luton. Let's be not to disrespect Luton, but
it's the second time Pep's pulled him after 5 goals, and he's pissed. He couldn't get more.
But that's a bit of like stat padding as well, where like, look, you can say, yeah, you need a 25 goal striker. Sure, you can have a 25 goal striker, but how many matches did those goals come in? 15?
He still has a pretty good
matches.
If all of his hat tricks were 1 goal games, he'd still would have led the league in scoring last year. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, but it would have been a 20 goal. It would have been one of these
like a
22 goals
instead of a 36 or like. But
yeah,
right.
I'm just saying that he gets shut down more than it seems like because of the stats that he has, because he scores in bunches. I'm not taking anything away from him.
Yeah.
He's a fucking brilliant player, and he makes a team have to deal with him, which opens the space. And I think that was what Pep wanted from him anyway, was to open the space for all of these other fringe players.
Even if he's having a shit game, you still need 2 people on him at all times. He opens up things for others, not because he's like Lewandowski or Kane and plays them in so much as
Is it fair to say he's one of the only footballers ever where it's genuinely noticeable when he's not on the score sheet? Like, it's actually odd. Weird. Say, like, Man City have put 3 goals in on someone, and he is not one of them.
I don't know.
You
I mean,
then
I
look
feel like
oh, what's his demeanor? What's he like? What?
I
How's
feel
he
like
walking around or whatever?
Ronaldo and Messi, that was a little bit like that, like in their prime, where they're putting 40 to 50 away in the league every year.
That was an amount of goals where they probably were scoring in every game, though. So the amount of games where they weren't scoring in was probably really rare.
Yeah.
Whereas, as
Right.
Lolo just said, he scores in bunches. He'll go 4 games without scoring, and then he'll score 4 goals.
And then he's
on
caught up.
someone.
Yeah.
So who do we think wins this in the end, guys?
Do I get to talk about it, or is
Yeah.
Oh, shit,
Do it.
Gary.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Oh, Gary's here.
Yeah, you guys are chatting, so I'll let you have your fun. No, I think this one will be it should be entertaining, and it could go back and forth. There's going to be a lot of scoring. I think like you said, the Haaland, quite hit, depending on how he plays, that will be, I think, key for City. I think Rodri will play a big part in this thing, and for me, because I want to see it go into extra time in the second match.
Yeah.
Just because I need them tired when they have to play that team the weekend after that match, just because it might be so I'm always looking out for me. But
we're playing checkers, and that Gary's out here playing chess.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to see this back and forth. I think City is, for me, I believe they might be the better team in terms of where they are. Like if KDB is just playing around with this injury thing and he'll be available and ready to go in 2 weeks, then I think they have the upper hand there. I don't know. Does Real Madrid seem like I think winning 2-1 in aggregate in that last knockout round. I don't know. Is that okay for them? Or is that a level that they should they have claimed won by 2 or 3 goals in that leg? Is Leipzig how does Leipzig compare to City? And if so, then when they play City, will they be a little bit surprised, or did they just hold back? I didn't necessarily see that game to know whether or not when they see City, it will be City just running over them. Now that they've been able to hold on to that trophy at the end of the season, kind of thing. So yeah, so I think City will win this one, but I guess we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, I think
no.
I think
Kick us off.
I think Haaland and Rodri will be the keys for this. As you said, the midfields will be a wash. It seems between the two of them. They have solid midfields, but I think Rodri and Haaland could be the answer. The questions, the answers to the questions is as to why things happen. Haaland should command a lot of attention, and if they make a mistake, they'll punish them, right? Basically, based on what we've seen. So, City, I think City. I want to say 2-1, and then it's going to go 1-2 the other way. It's going to go 2-1 the other when they go back, and then they go into extra time. And I kind of feel like for me, I'd rather see City win it, because I think Arsenal might fare better against City than they would against Real Madrid, just because of the home stadium kind of. I think that might be a little too much for an Arsenal team if they were to make it through. So if I'm looking at it that way, that's what I feel will happen. I think City is probably a little bit more informed than Real Madrid is right now.
Yeah, man. I feel you. And I like your 3D chess that you're playing right now as well, with like, let's keep City busy. Because for Arsenal, we're like, look, if we can beat Bayern, it doesn't matter if we play Real Madrid or City. I'd rather keep City busy in the Champions League to have them falter in the league. I'm right there with you, Gary. I think City take this in the end. I don't know the scoreline, but I'm going to go with City.
Can I ask Gary a question or the panel? So, do you feel then that you would rather than Bayern Munich keep Man City busy in the semi-final?
I didn't even hear a word you said. I don't think anybody
Shut
heard a
the
word he
fuck
said.
up.
I think you
Oh,
know what?
I
There was
heard
just
him. I
dead air.
heard him loud
what?
and clear,
What do they say in
Gary.
the business? Dead air. I think is what I had.
That
The
was dead
signal
air.
just went dead, and the emergency signal thing came on, and that's all I heard. So I didn't even hear what you said. What, Mr. Tom?
That was a mic drop.
No.
Yeah, no, Mo Master, nothing about that. I think they are both threats to win the entire thing. So as Arsenal fans, I would rather City stay in the Champions League to have them working hard and possibly falter in the league. Not that we need them to do that. We don't need them to falter at all. Arsenal just need to win every single game from here on out, and we win the league.
The comment he followed it up with is even better.
God damn it. God damn it. And just a reminder that when Gary says Haaland, he is talking about Erling Haaland, and he's not talking about Harlan Williams,
Sorry,
who I always think about.
I don't pronounce well, so yes. Sorry about that.
No, you go hard in the wrong direction, which I love. You're like, this is wrong, and I'm going for it. I know it's not Harland, but I'm just gonna say it because.
Do you know that it's not Harland?
I do know it is not Harland, but Holland.
It's not Harland, and you don't
the Viking.
do
I was
your
going to say
war.
the Terminator.
Just have him say Erdegard. Martin Erdegard.
Nobody likes
Ermagerd.
I'm not saying anything.
Oh, the way he says Odegaard's hilarious.
I love it.
It's actually more close to correct though than how
I'm
we
more
say it.
yeah, because I've been told by a Norwegian how to say it, so I've been trying to say it like that. I'm not
Erdegard.
No, that's terrible. But
do you say Bruno Fernandes?
I do say Fernandes because
but you
say
do.
that's what they say. That's what they said his name is, right?
Bruno Fernandes.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Fernandes. It's just every time he dives
I'll
or
call him
falls or has a rat face. Okay, guys, we are running out of time and we have to get to the most important match. It is Arsenal versus
I didn't get
Bayern
to
Munich.
opine on the score. It's bullshit.
Yeah, none of us did.
Move on. I don't care.
No, I said, who do you think is going to win? And you guys said, didn't we already do this?
I think, in all seriousness, I think if Man City want to show they're the greatest team in the world, they'll recall Calvin Phillips and they'll beat Real Madrid with Calvin Phillips instead of Rodri.
Now that will be a feat.
That is incredible alternative universe action.
And if they don't, they're not true Champions League winners.
Jude Bellingham, game-winning header, 97th minute, second leg, Madrid.
It certainly
that
would
sounds a little
great
too early in the
storyline.
match. Can you go in the 119th minute?
I can go in the 127th minute because there was an injury in extra time.
I'll go with that. I'll say it. I'll sign up for that.
It'll end up being Real Madrid time, won't it?
If we're gonna extend it, let's extend it all the way. I don't know about 15-minute half that goes an extra 9 minutes. I don't know.
I'm going to say
La Liga loves Barca, but UEFA loves Real Madrid.
It's true.
So they'll get their 10 minutes if they need
let's
it.
get to the 10-2 repeat. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris, you're first up. Since you want to talk about the 10-2 repeat, have at it, Chris. Let's go.
Kane, hat-trick, both matches, 8-2.
Damn!
Why are you on this show?
I know exactly that. That was rude. You saved that up.
I just put you under the Bayern logo. That's where you belong.
He's been saving that up for a while, hasn't he?
He's been saving it up since the name came out of the hat.
Harry Kane hat trick. Oh,
he's got to win something.
No.
I think it's mighty humble of Bayern Munich to turn around and say, you know what, we're going to give Arsenal a fair chance in this particular tie. We've even brought in 2 players from Tottenham.
Munich is a disaster this year, and they are in the front office a total disaster. This is the best chance Arsenal's going to have to to get through that because they're not going to be a disaster for Lever if they get Xabi or whoever the fuck they get.
No, I
That's
mean,
why it's going to be all the more shocking when it finishes 6-3 to Bayern.
You know what? You're being rude, and I don't like your tone and your language, and I don't like that little smirk on your face. Look at that. I don't like seeing your teeth, and then when you bend your head like that, it just disgusts me.
oh,
You know, and that neck of yours that you just like.
Let me tell you about the hurricane.
You and your neck.
That skin on your face, the audacity of it.
Think you're better than us because you've got eyes that work.
So, Mo Master, Arsenal are playing at home first, which I would always prefer in a 2-leg to play at home last. Just you know what's going on. The fans know they can help out as much. So this one's going to be tough, which just means we got to do the business. There's a lot going on in this, and for all the people who are saying that Bayern Munich are shit this year, listen, they tend to win their league with 80 points or something like that. Like not a crazy amount of points.
Yeah, they're on pace for 84 points, I think.
Yeah, they're not as terrible. If Leverkusen weren't having an incredible season, and Leverkusen still haven't lost, they've only had 4 draws.
Yeah.
Like Bayern have had 3 draws, but they've had 4 losses, so it's bad. But if Leverkusen weren't absolutely destroying things, Bayern would still win this league, and we'd all be saying, "Oh, Bayern's not as good as usual, but they're fine." Right now, it's crisis mode because it's Tommy took the bus too cool, and Harry Kane there, so we can laugh at them and make fun of them. But really, they're still a solid fucking team. No. I mean, there's players that I would take off of Bayern Munich right now and put on my Arsenal team.
Like Harry Kane?
No.
I think
like the best striker in the world?
Who's that?
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane.
No.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He's the best field goal kicker in the league for sure.
I think a lot has been made of
Fuck a
Bayern
Harry
Munich.
Kane, by the way.
Okay. Anything else you got?
With this Chris. Chris is just he's
I
You're not invited
give
back.
A bit of hope in this.
I'm showing up to your house and just kicking footballs at your window.
All day.
All day.
I can give Arsenal a bit of hope because
Right.
having
Exactly,
a
Mo
£100 million midfielder
I
can't
agree
give
with
you
you.
enough hope, then this will. So, did you know Bayern Munich have actually lost to an English club in Europe unexpectedly? In 1993, they lost to Norwich. Bayern Munich lost to Norwich. So, if Norwich can beat them, then Arsenal and their £250 million team or whatever it is should, probably more than that if we've been fair, should be able to dispatch them. And they've got Harry Kane. They've got Tottenham in their team. And they brought his mate along. Like the footballing equivalent of the De Boer brothers.
It's a little stinky there, yeah.
Got to bring Harry's mate over to keep him happy. He won't score goals if he feels a bit lonely in Germany. Got to bring his mate Dyer over.
Is this what Leeds has done to you?
It really has.
It's what the championship has done to him.
It really has.
What do you mean? I'm just putting out quality content. Can't believe I said that.
You didn't believe that yourself. That's a good thing. Good thing. Your face.
Okay. Can I get some real opinions about this Arsenal versus Bayern Munich?
I think, like
Sure.
you said, I think for Arsenal, this is easy. it will get probably against Bayern Munich. Right now I think we've seen them struggle. Not even like 3 or 4 games ago where they kind of went on a losing streak there. Losing 3 games in a row there. So I think they have that in them. Are they as consistent as they have been in the past? No. So I kind of feel like Arsenal needs to, if they're playing at home, they have for me, there's no time like the present to actually go out there and play your football and not cater to the opponents. I mean, we did that in the previous round. And I don't think we can play that style. I think we're gonna, if we see a little bit more of Arsenal football, that's that's a chance we're gonna have to take. We do have the second leg to make up for it. That will be even tougher. But I feel like we do have some answers on our side. And in 3 weeks from now, and we should be the next time we see Arsenal, they will be much healthier, and that's what we're gonna need, right? So that's the key thing for us as well, is that we are getting healthier every day. We'll have answers in that midfield that we didn't have before. If Partey's comes in as a lot better than we've seen him so far, and is kind of a couple of cameos he's had. So
start Jorginho every
day.
No,
you're not listening. You didn't hear what I said. We have a stronger midfield. We have like Jorginho cannot play on a Wednesday and then play on a weekend and we get the same kind of play from him. So I kind of feel like he is not a player that can play back-to-back games if we want to get him at his best. If you watch him, he's taken off 6 to 7 days between games, and we've won all of them. Right? So I think that's what I think.
Would you play him in?
What leg would I play him in? Well, I would play both legs.
Well, no,
he just wouldn't play on the weekend. That's all.
What I really mean is, what game would you sacrifice to play him?
The weekend games in the Premier League. That's why I'm saying if we're going to get healthier, right? And Partey can play, because I think I can't remember who we play in between those games, but let's see here. I think we play Brighton, Villa, and Wolves. Basically, those are the 3 games that surround our matches. So Brighton might be a game he could play, but I don't think so. I'd rather him play. I'd rather us have somebody else play in that. But we've got time to get there, right? This is not until April 9th. So I feel like if we're getting healthier, and if Partey is getting healthier, and we see that he can work, then I would rather have, because Villa and Wolves, yes, they're going to be tough games, but if we're trying to make it through, and he is our number 1-6, then he should play those 2 matches.
I think Wolves is your toughest game of the season, Gary.
Okay, just because Mark's there.
If we get healthy.
Just because Mark's there, I hear that, but we have played City. We have played Liverpool twice already.
You beat us by 1, and you had to suspend our midfield to do it.
I don't mean the clubs. I just mean the toughest game for the Stoop, because it gets feisty.
Oh, okay.
It does get feisty, but we're decent this year, I mean,
it will be tough. But if you're talking about a Champions League match, and then you're talking about Bayern Munich, I don't think anybody would say no. That's not a tough match. That you want to have your best 11 ready for that match. Because I feel like you don't know. You never know which game you're going to win and which trophy you're going to win. So you should try to win all of them. But if we are healthy and we can rotate, then that's how we should do it.
I feel like you got to punch them in the face in the first game. The thing with Bayern, just like Barca, they have nothing to lose. Tuchel's out at the end of the year. They're out of the German Cup. They have no chance at the league. This is the only thing that matters, except they have a better overall squad than Barca. But Tuchel's been a bit of a head case. He hasn't played Kimmich in the midfield. He's one of those. He's a little bit. I mean, he's won a fucking Champions League, so I can't discount him too much. But sometimes he out coaches and outsmarts himself, and he doesn't play his best player in their best position. And that's what you got to hope. I think you punch him in the face the first game, and then it will be fine. I think if the first game's close, I think it's going to be very hard to win.
Tuchel doesn't strike me as a guy that you would want to work hard for. I could be wrong. It could turn out that he's actually the nicest man to be around.
No, he seems like a dick.
He's not. Yeah.
But the thing is, I think that team doesn't have to give a fuck about Tuchel. They'll play for. Hopefully, they would play for Thomas Muller. Hopefully,
they play for that shirt and those fans, right?
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah, the
I think
badge.
that's the one when we talk about heritage and the history of squads and stuff like that. They don't touch the badge for nothing sometimes, right? Just putting that shirt on means a lot, right? They don't want to embarrass themselves, I believe.
Yeah.
So I think that's the key thing. That's
I mean,
why, like I said, I think Arsenal playing at home. Nobody's I didn't have us this far in the Champions League, so for me, they're playing with house money to some degree. I would like to see them play Arsenal football, like we saw.
This year as good as anybody.
We saw about 5 to 15 seconds of it with the Erdegaard pass, right? I like to see like 30, 40 minutes of that where we could probably, get 2 or 3 goals or something like that before Bayern Munich knows what's happening, right?
Here's the thing: in any other year in the last 10 seasons, someone like Erdegaard is playing for Bayern and not for Arsenal. I think he's the guy who is slowly, maybe not yet, but will eclipse De Bruyne as the best player in the Premier League, I think, by next season. And he's the one who can punch him in the fucking face. Yeah. And just, if they win 3-0, 3-1 the first round, then that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
He's had. I think he's had us. He should be in his prime now, but I think as that whole the Real Madrid thing did not work out for him, so it was slow to get to that point. Like I believe between 24 and 28 is where you're at your prime. He's 25 now, so
he was. He was such a good footballer, Odegaard, when he was 15. That Football Manager had to get his parents' permission to put him in the game. He was that good.
Oh, wow.
He was astonished. He was incredible at Sociedad. I couldn't believe Madrid didn't keep him after what he had done with that club. But fuck, man, that's incredible. I mean, he landed on your lap. He landed on your lap, and I remember Arsenal fans weren't that amped about him. And
no, because it was like, okay, cool. We tried Danny Ceballos. Awesome. Who do you got next? Odegaard. Okay, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah,
we needed answers.
He's been your best player since probably Van Persie.
Yeah, but
Mark asked me.
But I was just gonna say
Mark asked me if I would rather have win the last season. Would I rather win the league and lose my best player, or not win the league and get better? Keep your best player. And I said, I would rather not lose our best player. And he asked me who that was. And I don't think he had in mind what I thought was in mind, because I said Odegaard. I said Odegaard is the most important player. I think Mark was leaning more like Saliba.
I think I went with Saka because Saliba was hurt for most
Saka
of it.
or Saliba or something.
And I hadn't seen much of Saliba.
But for me, it's Odegaard 100%. And as soon as they came back from Dubai, in my Arsenal chat group that I'm in, that has hundreds of people, so I don't invite you guys onto it. You don't need that nonsense. But I said, as soon as they came back from Dubai, I was like 20 plus goals and assists incoming for Martin Odegaard. In the second half of the season, he's gonna have 20 plus goals and assists.
Your guaranteed starters are, in my mind, Saka, Odegaard, Rice, and Saliba. Everyone else, as good as they are, depending on who's hot, could
rotational.
Mega legs.
Okay, I was wondering if you said Gabriel, because Gabriel for me, Gabriel and Saliba as a tandem are that's definitely. There's nobody
I think
else.
Gabriel you can improve upon. But
we don't have an answer for that right now.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to spend the money.
Gabriel
Megaless.
Megaless, yeah. Okay. No, I was going to say on Erdegaard, the one thing that he does is, if you see it, when we're playing our style of football, when we're pressing, he's leading that. Right? And when he's on, when you see him up there, he's bringing everybody up there to do the press. And yes, when we're playing the lower level teams, they don't even get out of their own half, right?
Mm-hmm.
They lose the ball, and it doesn't matter. We're still sitting there with the ball a couple of seconds later. So he's leading that. On top of that, he's one of the best creators in the world, or in the top 5 leagues.
I mean, to
Right?
me, those
So
are the 4 people you have to keep at all costs.
He has the most chances created in the world right now.
And
in all leagues, in all competitions, Martin Odegaard has created the most chances. So say whatever you want, Mo.
Yeah.
KDB, all you want.
He just doesn't have those players finishing. He should be pissed. No, think about it. He should be pissed because he's creating all those chances and nobody's finishing. That's the thing that's what I want him to bring to the table as well. Is look, I'm going to put the ball where it needs to be. You got to put it home for me, all right?
He needs to get meaner about it. Meaner.
So when he gets to that point where he's got a little bit of like we saw it with KDB and like Arteta when Arteta was playing with the ball and KDB's like get off the ball, stop bothering me. We need some of that from Odegaard. But I think he's still young and trying to figure this thing out. He's just learning his game.
Well, but I mean, Gary, in the first half of the season, everybody's like, Odegaard's having an off season. He's having an off season. When really, he had created more chances than anyone else in the Premier League. Our guys just didn't put him in. They just didn't put him in the back of the net. And Odegaard, everybody's begging for him to shoot. Odegaard's not the type to shoot.
Master.
Like, personally, he's like, he said, I want to create everything for everybody. And he's been doing that, and they weren't putting him in the back of the net. And we have 30 shots against fucking West Ham, and we lose. Martin Odegaard had an XG or an XA, whatever you call it, of like 6 or something. It was crazy.
Yeah, I'm just like reading some of these comments. I don't think
Odegaard's
I don't think
he's
not at a KDB level, right? No, everybody would say that.
No, but he's not that far behind.
Yeah, but those things are things that will he just pick up immediately? We'll see, right? Will it happen tomorrow? I don't know. But it's taking a time.
It's also different because KDB can put it on the head of Haaland or head of Guerrero. It's a big difference.
Yeah.
So, like I said, he has still got some room to grow in his game, right? Basically, what you're saying is,
that's the scary part.
Yeah. So he's doing all this, and he doesn't even have the full tool belt on, the full set of tools on his belt right now. He's still got some things that he can do better, and he needs, he might need some players to help him out as well. But I think he's doing a lot of what he's got.
He's already a top 5 midfielder in the world, undoubtedly. With like a KDB, with a Bellingham, with a, he's probably just right there. I mean, Rodri, but he's further back. Nico Barella, maybe. Like he's in that conversation of top 5 midfielders in the world.
Yeah, no, like I said, I think he's been playing well this season, and as you said, he didn't look like it because nobody was helping him out, and now we seem to be doing that.
Dude,
I think
you get Alexander Isak to Arsenal, that would be fucking. Especially because he's such a link-up player, he's unselfish. He's the exact type of like Dennis Bergkamp, like striker.
I know there's been all that talk about Osimhen, and I don't know what his. I like you said, I'd rather have a player that I don't have to figure out. Will you be able to fit in the Premier League? We can't afford to do that. That's where, like you said, like say Isak is 80, but you pay 100 and you get him, then you know what you got. And if he does have the injury concerns, guess what? We've been dealing with that all season now.
I think even like a fucking
right.
Ollie Watkins would be a great striker at Arsenal.
I would love Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins and Isak for me are leaps and bounds above Ivan Toney.
Yeah, but you're all naming players.
They're more all around than Ivan Toney.
The clubs. You're naming players that are already at the clubs where you should have got them before they joined that club.
Yeah.
You're now going to have to pay the top dollar.
Yeah, but it's all right. Arsenal, if they go far enough in the Champions League, they can pay top dollar now.
Yeah, we have that money.
They can pay for.
We have that
cash or pay for.
Yeah, but do you have that money to buy 4 of those players?
They don't need 4. You don't need 4 of those players. You need You need a
No,
striker.
I mean you need 4 players of that caliber.
You need a striker and a keeper.
Wow, Brownie.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, we need depth behind Saka, right? If Partey were to leave and Jorginho were to, Jorginho's only going to get older, we need an answer there in the midfield because we either need the 8 or we need a 6. You pick.
You know what
one.
though? Take a page out of the Jurgen Klopp book. Go find your Wataru Endo, the guy you can plug in for 15 million pounds. Once you have a lot of great players, you can plug in a good player and they play really well.
Well, we already got our Diogo Jota with Trossard, our little $25 million badass sharpshooter. He's the Arsenal Diogo Jota.
Yeah.
That kid.
Yeah.
Love
really
him to death.
helpful that his dad refereed the other night, wasn't it?
It was not helpful. He didn't give us any
No, that
call.
was his cousin from the other side, and you know
That
what?
was crazy.
They had a row before the game. That's what happened because we didn't get anything. That guy was pissed.
They do look alike.
They were feuding cousins in that game.
It was crazy. Like them being I can't even believe they were willing to stand next to each other.
Well, they were talking to each other coming off the pitch at halftime. You're like, he's going, look, just help me out in the second half. I'll make sure you get you get the big steak. When we have dinner this weekend. So
that didn't sound PG, but I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. No, like I said, I think Arsenal's got a lot of answers, and I think they've got the experience, which I like that they brought in some experienced players. They got the young players still coming up. I always go back to the Bayern Munich team when Muller was 22, playing with that squad, and then where he is now. It's kind of come full circle where he is now. The Ribery's and the I can't think of his name. But,
Robin,
Robin, yeah, he's that guy now for that squad now. He's got the answers and he's got
in
youngsters.
case you guys missed it,
how has this not been investigated? They should immediately be like, I want to see both your family trees on ancestry.com right now.
Like he's definitely walking away like, I'm fucking telling mom that you broke that bike, and he's like, wasn't my bike. Wasn't my bike, Kenneth. Wasn't my bike, Kenneth.
That sounds very Belgian. For fuck's sake, man.
For fuck's sake, it wasn't my bike, Kenneth. It wasn't my bike.
There must be a detour via Ireland on the family tree or something.
Yeah.
That was a very good goal there.
Oh, Ireland.
There was a red card on him before that, you fucking tosser.
But clearly the point is Arsenal should be investigated for cheating, obviously.
Well, yes.
Cheating for what? What benefit did we get in that game? Tell me.
You won it. You won the game, Gary.
What benefit did we get?
I love that there were
the referee is the reason why Erdegaard split
falling on the ground.
Players? Is that what it was? The referee was standing in the way, creating the
I never watched it, Gary.
What did Arteta call? What did Arteta say to Conceição?
I'm sure he said "hijo de puta." I'm sure this is what he said.
No.
He's hijo de puta. Hijo de puta, meaning like son of a bitch. Like you fucking son of like just saying hijo de puta. And it's going and him saying she's not alive anymore. You can't say that. And it's like, no, you're still a son of a bitch.
Yeah,
I don't know what he said, but
what I had heard was that he had said, where the Porto manager said something to Arteta, and Arteta responded by saying "La ponga en la concha de tu madre." You can put it. You can put that in your mom's.
Put it in your
cunt.
mom's ass.
I mean,
so it doesn't even. You know what the thing is? It doesn't even sound like Arteta to me.
Mark,
I felt no.
There's no but. That's just what I had read that he said.
No, think about it. We've been watching Arteta for years now, right? What part of what you just said comes even close to what you think Arteta would have put out of his mouth?
He definitely said it.
I'm just saying it doesn't even seem right to me. So the fact that
maybe to you, Gary, maybe to you, I could see a Spaniard saying that. I can see it, and I can see Arteta say it. You know,
Right.
what is it that exempts him from saying something like that?
Just the way
You
we've
know,
seen him,
other
the way
than
we've
he's
seen
the
him coach
Arsenal
and manage his
manager.
team. That's what
He
what
would
it is.
never.
Are you
push
kidding
things to
me?
limit, would he? He would
He-
never
he-
exceed
the guy
technical area.
practically stands on the pitch. He
It has nothing to do with using that
But he
language.
has no.
That's what I'm
He
talking
has
about.
no
It's not,
regard for anybody
feels
but
he can do what
himself,
he
and
wants
he
'cause
has
he's
literally
Arteta.
said, "If I feel I can, if it's what I want to do, I'm going to do it." He has
He's
no
not
regard. And so,
not fit.
so to say that Arteta is exempt from using such language is ridiculous, and you're only saying that because you're an Arsenal fan and
no,
that's
I'm
your
not.
manager.
I'm saying that because of what I see. You didn't listen to a word I said. That's okay. I'll
You
say it
no,
again. I'll say
I
it again.
listened to every
I'll say it
word you
again.
You
You didn't hear a
said
word I said.
that is not something that you could see Arteta saying.
Yeah.
That's what you said. Does he seem like the kind of man that would use that kind of language on the pitch? That's what you said. And
Mark,
I'm saying,
Mark,
he's
I would just
Spaniard,
like to
he is,
say
you
I'm
know,
not
and-
in that camp. I'm not in that camp with Gary. I think Arteta would 100% say something like that.
absolutely. A
Absolutely.
Spaniard would totally
But to
say
me-
that to a Portuguese.
Okay, so listen, to me, the bitch in the situation is the one who takes shove it up your mom's ass and comes to the public and says, he insulted my family. Like, no, he didn't fucking insult your family. He said, shove it up your mom's ass. Like, no, it's not.
do it.
To me, it's going. It's like saying, he's calling you a son of a bitch, and you're like, I cannot believe after the match he spoke about my mother in such
he
a way
complained about
she has
Tuchel
passed on.
a couple
Like,
years ago,
fuck
right?
off.
See,
complained
that
about
I think
Tuchel's
that's the
language a
crux
few
of it
years
is
ago.
that it's not just that his mom is passed. His mom is recently passed, so maybe it just kind of stuck a little bit more. You know?
No, but
I
it's
I
more
do agree
personal.
with you. I
But
do
Mark,
agree with you.
we're
I
at-
don't
if
think
we're at
that
the bar
it needs
somebody
to be
says-
spoken of.
if we're at the bar and somebody says, you son of a bitch, and my mom just passed away today, I may get in the feels, and one of my boys will go over and go like, yo, it's all good, but his mom just died. Call him a cunt. Like, don't call him a son of a bitch. Just today, you know? Am I wrong?
No.
I don't think Arteta's fit to lace Jesse Marsh's boots.
I don't know what that has to do with any. What we're talking about, you just bringing that nonsense up.
Well,
Let's
good.
move on.
Those are awesome opinions. Jesse fucking Marsh. All right, guys. Well, we are way past the end of the show here, but it's been a shit ton of fun. I just want to get one last comment from everybody before we get out of here. But just a reminder, don't forget, you can check out Gary and Tom on their shows. Gary, the trip. When is the next trip
Yep,
episode?
so before the trip, we do have the road trip tomorrow
the
morning.
road trip. Sorry.
The road trip tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on the east coast of the U.S. and then I guess
Oh,
3.
John, don't.
Is
be
this 4
pushing it.
p.m.? Sorry, 2
Gary,
p.m. Right?
I've got a great idea for you.
What nonsense are you gonna bring up now? Go ahead.
No, not nonsense. I think you should go live an hour later because of the time change, which would then mean it would actually still go ahead at the regular time in the UK.
What's the the regular time is America.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So let's move on. Anyway, so like I said, nonsense that he brings up. So 10.
No, it's valid.
No,
It's perfectly
nonsense.
valid.
It's my turn to talk. 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Check out the road trip. Me, Tom, and Sam, or whoever Sam's alter ego is that day. And then yes, the trip is on Mondays, 7:30 p.m. I think the clocks will be changed, so it'll be back to its normal time. So 12:30 a.m.
Changes on 31st.
Huh? Oh, so it's even later.
Our
So
clock changes on the 31st.
so you
Sorry,
guys
Gary,
will
it's
get.
my
You know,
turn to talk.
you guys
Sorry,
will get.
Gary, it's my turn to answer your time
Let me
question.
finish what I gotta say. You can have all the talk you want.
Finish.
Scooby.
12:30 a.m. Oh, sorry, 11:30 p.m. for you guys in the UK. You get to check us out an hour early. And
Gary, I
yeah.
hate to tell you that if you were actually giving pertinent information in the last 2 minutes, it's lost to the world. There's been so much interruption and so much.
Yeah, you guys don't want me to talk. Anyways, check me
No,
out.
no, it's just Tom. It's just Tom.
Well, I told you he's just going to bring nonsense, and that's why I was trying to stop him from saying anything.
But that's why he's an all-star on this show.
He is. He is. So DMW type DMW type. You got me saying nonsense. Anyways, here we go. Type DWTT.
What is
Arsenal.
DMW?
That's actually something for my work. Oh my gosh. All right. Got me all confused over here. But anyways, check us out. DWTT search, and I'll come up first. All right.
All right. Mr. Tom, when's your next show?
It'll be tomorrow at 2 p.m. apparently.
It's called
It's
DM.
called the road
something?
trip, or
Called These
I
Nuts.
believe. Yeah.
All right. The last time I tried to get you guys to plug your own show. All right. Final thoughts, guys. In one sentence or less, who's winning the Champions League?
Graphic.
Gary.
Arsenal,
There is not a graphic.
Arsenal's
I
winning,
looked for it.
and then the internet will just blow up. Social media
And then we'll
will
be
just
done
go
with it.
boom, and then we'll start all over again with just like, what's your phone number, and go from there. We'll start.
I
from
like
there.
it. It's
Yes.
the best outcome. Mark, who's winning?
City until they're proven
No.
different.
City. He said City. He said City. City, unless they lose to Real Madrid, in which case
I'm
gonna
just
put
saying,
Bayern, unless
that's it.
they lose
No,
to Arsenal,
no.
which I guess is
As of today, right now,
Man City.
with who is remains, I think
right.
the best team is Manchester City.
I get you. All right, Chris.
Borussia Dortmund to make
There you
to make Klopp feel good.
Put your money on it. Put your money on it.
Do it. Fucking
It's
Dortmund.
the only one worth money.
I know.
All right, Tom.
I think Aston Villa are going to beat Lille, and then they'll go on to win the UEFA Conference League.
What the
Where's the
world?
mute
I told you this
button?
guy's just
Where's the
pure
goddamn
nonsense.
mute button?
I've got Olympiacos.
Yeah, did you know? I think it must be very rare, but there's 2 Greek teams in the final stages.
The
of European
Panathinaikos and
competitions.
Olympiacos. or
Do
is
they
it-
get
very
2
rare.
spots even? Jesus Christ. All right. Well, everyone but Gary was wrong. It is Arsenal who's going to win it. So,
Olympiacos probably has a better
Spoiler-
European
spoiler
record
alert.
than Arsenal.
You know what?
God damn it.
You know what? No.
you don't.
No. No.
You can't have a better
Le-
record
Leeds
until
have
you
a
make a
better
better
European
record. So
record
we're
than
working on
Arsenal.
it, Chris. God damn it. You all suck. Happy birthday to all of you guys on your birthdays of the year. I don't know why that popped in my head, but happy birthday to you on your birthday. Good night, everybody. This has been Happy Hour on the Stoop, and this is how it gets about 2 hours and 20 minutes in. Thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you're still paying any attention. Much love to you all. Mark, great job. Keep those peace fingers up.